Hey guys, what's up? I'm iiUnCluTchABle. This is a demolition on terminal, and this video is going to be another video in which I'm a little bit more serious this time. The last video I made, it was about life changes I've made and where my life's been going recently. And this video I wanted to make about my parents, just to explain the situation I have with them, the relationships I don't have with them. And basically, I've lived with my grandparents my whole life, and I'm going to explain why that all is. My mom had me when she was 18 years old, pretty young. She was an adult, but it was still very young to have a child. She was very heavy into alcohol and into drugs of all sorts. She was a crack addict. She smoked so much marijuana. She smoked meth a few times. You know, she had extreme depression from all things that she'd been through in her life. My mom was overweight. My mom she just was not a happy person. And that led her to make decisions in her life that have caused the things and the pain, physical and mental, she's feeling today. When my mom was 16, she ran away from home. She kind of got kicked out in a mixture of running away, and she got raped. My mom was raped by a man who was just driving down the highway and just picked her up. Anyways, after that, she had mental, yeah, we'll go with mental. She had mental pain, emotional pain, that it drove her to the point where she needed something to help her deal with this pain. And that led her to the drugs. That led her to the alcohol. That led her to all the painful decisions she ever made in her life. You know, there's things that happen in somebody's life that when they do, it's just such a traumatic experience. There's no way to handle it, and you don't know how to handle yourself. So my mom just took the easy way out, and she started doing drugs. My dad, my father, I met him like twice in my life. You know, my father was also heavy into drugs and alcohol, and I'm sure he probably still is. My father used to hit my mother when they were together. He would verbally abuse her. My dad, he's had 7 kids. You know, I've got 6 brothers and sisters. He's not in any of their lives. I have no clue where my father is, and I don't care. I feel no emotional connection or physical connection to him whatsoever. There is no love between myself and my father, and I really don't care. He's never been there for me, so why should I be there for him? You know, why should I care about him if he's never cared about me? When I was 2 years old, my mom was 20 years old. She was still heavy into the drugs and the alcohol scene. And she used to take me on drives with her to go pick up her drugs, to go get alcohol. And she would get high, she would get drunk while I was in the car with her. And some of the things I saw during these drug deals, you know, I saw a person die in a drug deal when I was 2 years old. I saw my mother get her ass kicked by a black guy when I was 2 years old. I saw my mom get threatened with a knife out and her life threatened when I was 2 years old. I saw things before I learned to talk, or excuse me, I knew how to talk when I was like 10 months old. I saw things before I knew how to understand them and knew what they were doing to her. Before any person should ever have to see something of that sort. I saw things that have changed me and made me the way I am, made me do some of the things that I do in everyday lives, some of the habits I have, you know. Because of the things I saw and the things I've been through, which I'll explain more, I have PTSD. Post-traumatic stress disorder, which is what many Marines come home with, servicemen and women from serving in wars and seeing the things they've seen. They see their buddies die, and it takes a toll on their heart. It takes a toll on their mind. It takes a toll on their body and their everyday life. And I have that same disability, the same disorder, as they do. Just from the things I've seen having to do with my mother and the drugs she was doing when I was 2. You know, I wasn't even old enough to make fucking shit in the toilet. And I was seeing people die, threatened with knives and drugs, and all the stuff that I was around that no kid that age should ever have to go through. When I was 2, my grandparents came into my life. I met my grandparents. They took me in, and I lived with my grandparents ever since. I never have regretted moving in with my grandparents. I've regretted the things I've done for them, to them, and for them, because of what they gave up for me, so I could have a better life. My grandparents gave up the freedom they had their whole lives, so I could have a better life. And my grandparents made so many sacrifices for me when I was a little kid still, just so I could have a better life. The gratitude I feel towards my grandparents is inexplicable, and it's in such a great amount. It's just insane what they've done for me and what they've continue to do for me over the next 13 years of my life. You know, just to have someone like that to do things like that for you in your life is more than any thanks could ever explain. Back to my father a little. He has been in and out of prison his whole life for being a drug dealer, for doing drugs, for hitting people and women, such as my mother. My mother was in and out of prison her whole life. And because of the drug habits she had, and smoking and drinking, she's now, at the age of 34, living for the rest of her life in a nursing home, in the hospital. She sees these older people, 80, 90 years old, dying around her every day of her life. And that's the way it's going to be for the rest of her life because of the choices she made for herself. She has done this to herself, and I feel no pain or sorrow for her at all. She did it to herself, and it's hurt everyone around her. My grandpa and I have a very unique relationship. Josh, shut up! I'm doing a fucking thing. Get out. Anyways, my grandpa and I have a very unique relationship. He's my grandfather. He's my care provider. He's my caretaker. But he's also like a brother to me. He's a father and a brother to me. My grandpa and grandma are the kind of people that everyone aspires to be when they're an adult. They have the biggest hearts of anyone I've ever met. They are the kindest, most gentle people, and they'll do anything for someone that they love, as you can see by them taking me in. And, you know, when you have someone like that in your life, you just have to sit back and say, wow, how do they manage to do this? They've also got to take care of my 2 other younger brothers now. One who is 24/7 care because he has a severe, very severe disability called cerebral palsy, and he can't do anything for himself. He's like a living vegetable, pretty much. I know it's awful to say, but that's the reality of it, and we all face it every day. Our life at home is extremely stressful. There's no break for anyone. Tension is always high. Tempers are always on the brink of exploding. To go along with the other video that I made earlier, the changes that I've made in my life have made me more grateful for my grandparents. And it has made me finally realize, hey, you know, when I'm talking back to them or something, just think, I wouldn't be able to talk back to them right now. And I wouldn't have anyone here for me right now had they not taken me in. It's a privilege to live with my grandparents. And I already lost that privilege once. I've been kicked out of my house before. It's not fun. It's not any fucking fun at all. You're alone. You're sad. You're depressed. And you have no one there to comfort you. You're hungry and you don't have a job because you're still in school. And you're hungry because you can't eat. You have to use the bathroom. And you do, but you can't flush because you have no running water because you can't afford the bill. You want to go hang out with your friends after school, but you can't because you don't have a car because you're not even old enough to drive. These are the things I faced every day when I got kicked out of my house that made me realize, what the fuck am I doing? You know? If it wasn't for my grandparents, I would be dead. I would literally be dead right now. If I had stayed with my mother, I would have been killed, just like the guy that was murdered during the drug deal that I was on scene with my mother. I would have been dead. There's no other reality than I would be fucking dead right now if it were not for these two people. By choice, my grandparents took me in, not by need. They saw the life that my mother was living, and they wanted to provide and give better for me. They wanted me to be able to provide and give better for my children. So they gave me the opportunity to have a better life. My life is amazing now. You know, I get everything I want. I'm spoiled as fuck. And you know, that's not a good thing. But if I was still with my mother, not only would I not be able to have anything, like I said, I would be dead. There's no doubt in my mind right now, I would be in the ground. I'm sure she would too. The reason I don't live with my parents, the main reason, and I hate to say it, it's because I don't love my parents. I don't feel the way other people feel about the parents. I feel hatred towards my parents, especially my father. There's nothing that I can do about the decisions that they've made. And there's nothing I want to do about it. The choices they've made have impacted everyone around them, as well as themselves. My father is probably in jail somewhere right now, and he doesn't give a fuck. No one gives a fuck. My dad is a scumbag, and he is just, he's not a good person. He's never been there for me. He's never been there for my brothers. He's never been there for my sisters. Guys, this video is just about over. And I just wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me the opportunity to sit here and just explain my feelings and my thoughts to all you guys. I really do enjoy making these videos for every one of you. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment telling me that you did. I'm iiUnCluTchABle, and I'm out, guys. Thank you for watching. Peace.